Welcome to my finance channel. Imagine sitting in a dimly lit room late at night, staring intently at a glowing screen. You watch the candlesticks flicker green and red, while your account balance fluctuates with every ticking second. Your heart pounding heavily against your chest, your palms growing sweaty, and your mind racing through endless worst-case scenarios. A tiny profit brings a fleeting surge of dopamine, but a sudden dip sends waves of primal panic through your veins. You are analyzing every minute detail, drowning in internal anxiety and paralyzing overthinking. So, let us ask a profound question. Why do most people know the right thing to do in trading, yet still lose money consistently? We step into this financial arena armed with technical indicators, desperately seeking certainty within total chaos. However, a harsh reality exists that your brain refuses to accept. The market itself has absolutely no meaning, it is neither friendly nor hostile, and it truly does not care about your survival. It is merely a pure probability distribution field. Deep inside our biological wiring lies a curse inherited from our ancient ancestors. According to prospect theory, the agony resulting from a financial loss feels more than twice as painful as the joy derived from an equal profit. This deeply ingrained loss aversion mechanism transforms our instinctual survival responses into fatal errors within modern financial markets. When your account shows green, the terrifying fear of losing that gain compels you to cut profits far too early. Conversely, when your position turns red, your mind enters a state of shock and denial. You stubbornly hold onto losing trades, clinging to the desperate hope that the price will inevitably bounce back eventually. Ultimately, the trading environment functions as an unforgiving mirror, brutally reflecting and amplifying 10,000 times every flaw within our human nature. Your greed, your deepest fears, your hesitation, and your boundless ego are completely exposed before the relentless ticker. You must realize that your greatest enemy has never been the market itself, but your own reflection. A journey towards mastery begins by conquering the emotional chaos lurking within. Chapter 2. When we first enter this relentless arena, we desperately seek a hidden secret or a magical indicator that guarantees instant wealth. We readily spend thousands purchasing the promised Holy Grail, hoping to find a convenient shortcut to financial freedom. We naively believe that if we just analyze hard enough, we can crack the code and finally conquer the chaos. Our primate brains crave absolute certainty and an illusion of control over our surrounding environment. When we stare at the constantly shifting charts, we subconsciously project our own deep desires and hidden fears onto the completely meaningless fluctuations. We weave intricate narratives, convinced that the market must inevitably obey our flawless logic and perfectly aligned technical patterns. However, the market exists as a living entity driven entirely by the collective sentiments of countless participants. The brilliant strategy that yielded massive profits yesterday might unexpectedly fail today, leaving us completely bewildered and profoundly angry. We stubbornly refuse to admit that our underlying thesis was incorrect, choosing instead to blame external factors for our own poor decision. You endlessly scroll through social media feeds, watching strangers flaunt massive returns from the latest viral hype. The paralyzing fear of missing out grips your soul and clouds your rationality. This overwhelming external pressure pushes you to abandon all predefined rules, forcing you into reckless and impulsive trades, simply to feel included in the grand delusion of easy riches. When the inevitable financial loss finally occurs, it feels like a direct and personal attack from the market itself. Driven by a severely wounded ego and an inability to accept defeat, you stubbornly double down on your positions. You throw more capital into the endless abyss, desperately attempting to prove to the world that you were right all along. Many traders fall into the dangerous trap of believing that having a larger account balance would magically solve their problems. In reality, possessing more capital often magnifies deep-rooted arrogance and encourages excessive risk-taking. A heavier position combined with emotional instability simply accelerates the downward spiral, leading to a much faster and infinitely more catastrophic financial ruin. Slowly, a painful realization begins to dawn upon you after enduring exhausting cycles of sudden boom and devastating bust. Are these mechanical trading systems and guru predictions merely comforting illusions? They simply mask the chaotic reality of a world where certainty is a myth and your instincts continuously lead you astray from true profitability. The illusion of control is the very trap that guarantees your financial destruction. Chapter 3. After enduring countless sleepless nights and devastating drawdowns, a profound exhaustion finally settles over your spirit. You slowly begin to realize that the ultimate adversary is not some invisible market maker or a sophisticated trading algorithm. The true enemy has always been the reflection staring back at you in the mirror. You must brutally confront your own greed, paralyzing fear, and desperate need for validation. From a very young age, our society programs us to closely associate financial success with our inherent self-worth. Consequently, every single time the market moves against our position, our deeply rooted belief system perceives it as a direct attack on our personal intelligence. This toxic connection guarantees that we trade using intense emotion rather than executing pure cold logic. How exactly do the top-tier professional traders view this chaotic environment? They never seek absolute certainty, nor do they desperately attempt to prove themselves right to the world. Instead, they view the seemingly erratic market as a continuous flow of neutral information, completely devoid of any emotional meaning or malicious intent. Towards their survival, consider the cold efficiency of a highly profitable casino. The house never cares whether an individual gambler experiences a massive winning streak or suffers a devastating loss tonight. They rely entirely on a slight mathematical advantage confidently, knowing that over 10,000 hands, the statistical probability will always inevitably favor their meticulously designed system. To survive this brutal arena, we must undergo a complete and painful psychological detoxification. We have to forcefully sever the deep emotional bond connecting our account balance to our fragile self-esteem. A financial loss is never a reflection of your fundamental competence. It is simply the unavoidable cost of doing business within an unpredictable environment. Can you remain perfectly still when your carefully planned position suddenly turns violently against you? Can you completely accept the terrifying reality that your flawless technical analysis holds absolutely no guarantee of future success? The ultimate paradigm shift requires embracing total uncertainty while simultaneously maintaining an unshakable foundation of absolute inner peace and unwavering, disciplined consistency throughout every single trade. You must stop asking the senseless question of what the market will do tomorrow. Instead, you must focus entirely on how you will perfectly respond to whatever the market decides to present. This crucial transition marks the death of the delusional gambler and the quiet birth of the rational professional who thinks exclusively in probabilities. Full true transformation begins when you stop fighting the market and start conquering yourself. Chapter 4. You have finally accepted that the market cannot be predicted. Now, you must learn the profound art of thinking strictly in probabilities. Ask yourself, do you still desperately demand a 100% win rate on every single trade? The amateur continuously hunts for the perfect sniper shot, feeling entirely defeated whenever they inevitably miss their target. In stark contrast, top-tier professionals recognize that achieving absolute perfection is simply a delusion. They comfortably operate with win rates hovering around 40%, completely understanding that the frequency of being right matters far less than the magnitude of their wins. When they suffer a loss, they strictly lose $1, but when they win, they capture $5 or $10. This mathematical asymmetry constitutes the true secret behind consistent and sustainable profitability. You are no longer acting as a frantic gambler pulling levers. You are now the meticulous casino operator managing long-term statistical advantages. By ruthlessly cutting your losses and patiently letting your profits expand, you build an impenetrable mathematical fortress against unpredictable and random market fluctuations. However, understanding this complex logic intellectually is vastly different from executing it perfectly under immense psychological pressure. How exactly do you prevent your trembling hands from closing a profitable position prematurely when fear strikes? The answer lies in constructing rigid rules that forcefully override your biological survival instincts. You must physically separate your analytical mind from your impulsive emotional execution. Consider implementing a mandatory cool-down chair located several meters away from your glowing screens. Whenever you endure consecutive losses or breach a predefined risk threshold, you must immediately step away and sit in absolute silence. This physical distance forcibly interrupts the destructive momentum of revenge trading, allowing your racing heart rate to return to a completely calm baseline. Furthermore, you must fundamentally redefine the internal vocabulary you use to describe your ongoing trading journey. Never say that you have lost money to the market again. Instead, declare that you have simply paid a mandatory business operating cost. Just as a restaurant owner pays rent without shedding tears, you must view your strict stop losses as necessary expenses for your probability enterprise. Finally, you must meticulously document not only your entry and exit prices, but the raw emotions coursing through your veins during every execution. This profound emotional journal acts as a brutal surgical knife, exposing the hidden psychological triggers behind every single financial disaster. Through this relentless self-observation, you gradually build the iron discipline required to safely navigate the financial wilderness. True discipline arises when you build infallible systems to manage your inherently flawed human nature. Chapter 5. We live in an era characterized by relentless noise and unforgiving algorithms. The modern financial market operates 24 hours a day, bombarding us with endless news cycles and flashing alerts. This hyper-connected environment is specifically designed to hijack your attention and continuously trigger your deepest primal anxieties. How can anyone remain calm amidst such extreme chaos? You constantly scroll through social media, witnessing strangers flaunting unbelievable profits and promoting the next revolutionary asset. This overwhelming social proof ignites a terrifying fear of missing out deep within your soul. Your rational framework instantly collapses under the immense pressure of group psychology, forcing you to abandon your meticulously crafted rules for blind conformity. To survive this modern psychological warfare, you must construct an impenetrable information firewall. A true professional drastically filters their inputs, completely shutting out the deafening roar of public opinion and viral hype. Your final trading decisions must rely exclusively upon your predefined objective system, never upon the fabricated stories or emotional agendas of other participants. This requires a profound transformation of your core identity. You must completely stop viewing yourself as an anxious gambler, desperately seeking validation from unpredictable price movements. Instead, you must fully embrace the cold and calculated persona of a risk manager. Your ultimate loyalty belongs solely to your mathematical edge, never to any single fleeting opportunity. Through relentless practice and unwavering discipline, you will eventually reach a beautiful flow state. In this elevated realm of consciousness, the excruciating internal conflict finally dissolves. Executing a painful stop-loss suddenly becomes as natural and effortless as taking a single breath. You simply perceive the market signals and react without a single trace of hesitation. Ultimately, this grueling journey transforms into a deeply spiritual practice. Financial trading ceases to be a desperate struggle for monetary wealth, becoming a profound mirror for utter self-mastery. When you finally conquer your internal demons of greed and fear, you win back absolute control over your own life. True wealth is unshakable inner freedom. Full true wealth lies not in conquering the market, but in achieving absolute mastery over yourself. Chapter 6. Many amateur traders blindly search for an automated trading system, mistakenly believing that a perfect algorithm will eliminate all pain. However, a true trading system does not exist to magically predict future market movements. Instead, it functions as a necessary psychological straitjacket, specifically designed to chain your inner beast and prevent emotional self-destruction. Consider the philosophical brilliance behind the triple screen strategy originally developed to filter out market noise. It is not merely a collection of cold technical indicators displayed intermittently on your monitor. Rather, it forces you to view the chaotic market through multiple dimensional perspectives, effectively filtering out deceptive micro-movements and neutralizing your own deeply ingrained cognitive biases. Before executing any single trade, you must first step back and observe the macro trend displayed on a larger time frame. This broader view accurately represents the underlying collective consensus of the entire market crowd. By actively aligning your tiny individual actions with the massive prevailing tide, you stop fighting the unforgiving ocean with your fragile and easily bruised ego. The ultimate foundation of long-term survival relies exclusively upon rigid risk management. While foolish beginners constantly obsess over how much money they might magically earn, hardened professionals only ask how much capital they can safely afford to lose. Survival must always remain your absolute primary objective before any profit can materialize within your trading account. The legendary 2% rule is far more than a simple mathematical formula. It is a profound philosophy of survival, ensuring that even if you are completely wrong for 5 consecutive trades, you still retain 90% of your precious capital. This strict rule effectively shields your fragile account from the devastating impacts of uncontrollable human greed. We must also observe the physical physiology of master traders during intense financial drawdowns. While amateurs experience racing heartbeats and sweaty palms, elite professionals remain physically relaxed when taking a massive loss. They simply lean back, take a deep breath, and elegantly cut their losing positions without displaying a single trace of internal panic or lingering regret. To achieve this extraordinary state, you must constantly rehearse the experience of financial loss within your own mind. Through this intentional mental simulation, you trick your nervous system into fully accepting the necessary business cost of trading. Eventually, executing a painful stop-loss transforms from a terrifying threat into a supreme act of professional discipline and deep pride. A robust system protects you from the market, but unwavering discipline protects you from yourself. Chapter 7. Let us explore a concept that might initially sound completely absurd to your logical mind. What if your subconscious deeply resists the very financial success you consciously pursue? You frantically press the accelerator while your hidden inner hand secretly pulls the emergency brake. This invisible resistance explains why so many brilliant individuals endlessly sabotage their own profitable trading accounts. Take a moment to reflect upon your earliest childhood memories regarding wealth and deep financial risk. Did you grow up believing that wealthy individuals are inherently evil, or that massive success requires exhausting physical labor? This deeply ingrained poverty code forces your subconscious to perceive sudden abundance as a terrifying threat to your core moral identity. When you finally experience a massive windfall, a profound internal panic quietly awakens within your soul. Because you secretly feel unworthy of such tremendous riches, your mind instigates a brutal self-destructive program. You unconsciously execute reckless trades, diligently handing the profits back until you safely return to your familiar and comfortable state of financial scarcity. Furthermore, you must brutally question your true underlying motives for entering this unforgiving financial arena. Are you sincerely seeking consistent profitability, or are you desperately chasing the exhilarating dopamine rush associated with extreme risk? Some traders unconsciously use the market simply to prove their superior intelligence, choosing catastrophic ruin over humbly admitting a sinful analytical mistake. To effectively rewrite these destructive internal scripts, you must establish a sacred pre-market ritual. Top-tier professionals utilize deep meditation and controlled breathing to deliberately switch from their everyday chaotic persona into a ruthlessly disciplined trading state. This vital psychological trigger signals to your subconscious that the intense financial battle is about to commence. Equally crucial is the establishment of a deliberate post-market exit ritual when the trading session concludes. You must consciously leave every ounce of stress, frustration, and exhaustion confined to your computer desk. By creating a clear boundary between the unpredictable market and your personal life, you actively preserve your limited mental energy and prevent emotional burnout. Ultimately, the fabled Holy Grail you have been endlessly searching for does not reside within any mathematical formula. The true Holy Grail is a complete and radical reconstruction of your deepest internal belief systems. Only when your conscious desires perfectly align with your subconscious truth can you finally execute your trading strategy with effortless and fluid consistency. True market mastery requires rewriting the destructive invisible code hidden deep within your subconscious mind. Chapter 8. To truly master this relentless game, you must willingly embrace the heavy burden of absolute personal responsibility. The market holds zero obligation to reward your hard work, nor does it care about your carefully constructed analysis. Whenever a sudden price crash erases your hard-earned capital, you cannot blame the news, the algorithms, or unlucky timing. You are the sole architect of your financial destiny. When you finally stop playing the helpless victim, an extraordinary shift occurs deep within your core identity. Instead of desperately seeking excuses for a devastating loss, you calmly ask yourself what crucial lesson this expensive experience offers. You diligently examine your own execution flaws, continuously refining your predefined strategy to ensure that such specific errors never sabotage your precious account again. The profound wisdom gathered from this brutal financial arena effortlessly spills over into every single aspect of your daily life. The cold probability thinking required to navigate charts becomes a powerful tool for making critical career decisions and managing unpredictable personal relationships. You suddenly realize that managing extreme financial risk perfectly mirrors the ongoing struggle to navigate our inherently uncertain human existence. By fully accepting the terrifying reality that anything can happen at any given second, you release the exhausting need for total control. You no longer demand that the universe conform to your specific desires or emotional expectations. This radical acceptance grants you a remarkable inner peace, allowing you to gracefully weather both severe financial drawdowns and unexpected personal tragedies without breaking down. Ultimately, the supreme objective of this grueling trading journey has never been exclusively about accumulating massive monetary wealth. True financial freedom is merely a beautiful byproduct of achieving complete internal transformation. It is the well-deserved reward for enduring countless psychological battles and successfully taming the wild, impulsive primates that have quietly governed our human subconscious for thousands of generations. Every single time you patiently wait for the perfect setup, you strengthen your character. Every time you ruthlessly cut a losing position without hesitation, you defeat your own ego. The relentless market continues to serve as a crystal-clear mirror, reflecting not only your deepest flaws, but also your immense capacity for rational evolution and extraordinary self-mastery within the chaos. When you finally conquer your internal demons, the chaotic numbers on the screen lose their terrifying power over your mind. You stand as a calm observer amidst the raging financial storm, fully equipped with unbreakable discipline and a profound understanding of human nature. You have not conquered the indomitable market. You have finally mastered your own soul. 剖师傅, the greatest trade you will ever make is exchanging your primal instincts for unbreakable rationality. Chapter 9. Imagine a crisp, quiet morning before the opening bell rings. Your coffee sits warm on the desk, and your breathing remains steady and profoundly deep. You are no longer the frantic amateur desperately seeking a thrill or a validation from unpredictable tickers. The financial market is about to awaken, yet your internal ocean remains completely undisturbed. In the beginning, maintaining strict discipline felt like an exhausting exercise. In brutal willpower, you had to violently force yourself to execute every single stop-loss, fighting back tears of deep regret. However, a miraculous psychological shift occurs when you fully internalize the core principles of probability. Discipline magically transforms from an external punishment into your natural state of being. You have finally entered what master psychologists call the ultimate flow state. In this elevated realm of consciousness, the heavy burden of the fragile ego completely dissolves into the silent background. You do not actively analyze the market anymore. You simply perceive its shifting energy and effortlessly respond. Your execution flows like water, entirely free from hesitation or fear. While the desperate masses endlessly debate future predictions on noisy social media platforms, you rest comfortably in the absolute truth of uncertainty. Let them blindly chase the fleeting euphoria of a viral meme stock. You quietly understand that consistent survival demands boring, repetitive, and emotionless execution. Excitement is the very poison that destroys a professional trading account over time. When a sudden flash crash wipes out billions of dollars in global wealth, panic sweeps across the world like a terrifying plague. Yet, you remain perfectly still within the eye of the storm, because you had already accepted the worst possible scenario long before you ever pressed the buy button. Your predefined risk parameters act as an impenetrable psychological shield. Do you remember the trembling, anxious version of yourself who first entered this brutal arena many years ago? That frightened individual was endlessly chasing money, blindly unaware that the market simply reflects the soul. By conquering your primal instincts, you have earned something infinitely more valuable than any mathematical balance displayed on a digital screen. You have finally reclaimed absolute sovereignty over your own human mind. The market will continue its endless dance of boom and bust, but it can never again manipulate your deepest emotions. You walk away from the glowing monitors, carrying a profound inner silence that will guide you through the beautiful and unpredictable probabilities of your entire remaining human life. Full true financial freedom is merely the final byproduct of achieving complete and unbreakable spiritual independence. Chapter 10. As we finally conclude this deeply immersive exploration into the trading mind, I want you to take one final, profound breath. The endless charts and flashing numbers will always remain readily available on your glowing monitors tomorrow. However, the essential psychological foundation we have painstakingly constructed today must forever remain unshakable within your mind. You now fully comprehend that the relentless financial market has never truly been a simple game of identifying profitable technical indicators. It is an exquisitely designed psychological trap that will forever exploit the weakest vulnerabilities hidden within human nature. Those who refuse to confront their internal demons will inevitably become legally plundered by the discipline. Please remember that the so-called holy grail of trading has never been a magical formula or a guaranteed secret strategy. The genuine holy grail is actually a boring, repetitive, and completely emotionless execution of statistical probabilities. It is the quiet courage to systematically cut a painful loss without ever damaging your core self-esteem. When you step back into the real world today, notice how these profound lessons perfectly mirror your daily human existence. The unwavering discipline required to manage your fragile trading account is the exact same discipline required to build meaningful relationships and construct a genuinely fulfilling career. Unpredictability will forever remain the only absolute certainty. I sincerely hope that this extensive philosophical journey serves as a guiding lighthouse during your darkest and most terrifying financial storms. When the irresistible urge to recklessly double down threatens to consume your rationality, remember to step away from the screen, find your quiet cool-down chair, and slowly return to your purely analytical baseline. If this extensive narrative has provided you with even a single ray of genuine clarity, please consider joining our quiet community of disciplined professionals. We must stand firmly together as the rational minority, patiently navigating the extreme chaos manufactured by the emotional majority. Until we meet again, trade safely and master your own mind. For the ultimate victory in both trading and life belongs exclusively to those who conquer themselves.